Yes, sir. You're welcome to the ninth episode of the Digital Assets Show. Wow, we've done wonderfully well in 9 different weeks. I'm very, very happy. Thank you all for being there with us. The quarter is almost coming to an end. And I am still your host, Oluwasegun. You can call me Olu or Hustle Alaj, the only fintech guy that wears double earrings. That's a lie, yo. Many of these billionaire founders do. I'm very glad this show takes you on an exhilarating ride of the fast-paced moving blockchain cryptocurrency ecosystem with Bitcoin on top of the food chain. You have something fantastic that you're doing that had value to human lives and can boost the economy of Nigeria. Come talk to us. We would give you a platform for expression as long as it's not scammy, right? Yes, you're welcome to the show. Let me give you guys a quick one. You see, last week when I came to the show, right, I had this ear infection. I didn't know that I would be able to make it back to the show today. My week was terrible, but God Almighty was with me. Thanks to family and friends, and my doctor was very well. So I got well very quickly. Health is wealth. Take good care of yourself, okay? Yes, you're welcome to the show. Today, let me tell you real quick before I introduce my guest. I have on the coin market cap the Bitcoin price today. You want to know? You know what Bitcoin price was last week when we were here, right? I've always told you the growth trajectory of Bitcoin forever is up. Do not look at the dip. It's not financial advice. It's facts that I have been able to experience. I mean, 2016, what's it called? Team 2016. Yes. So I have enough experience. I've been through 2 Alvins, and this is going to be my third Alvin. So, yeah. I think so. When I'm advising you, I think you should just do your own research. Bitcoin price today is $47,296 US dollar. In 2009, it was 16 naira. It's a store of wealth. It's a store of value. The naira is depreciating every day. Inflation is terrible in our nation. Shout out to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his team, the governor of the central bank, Mr. Cardoso. They've been able to harmonize the black market, the parallel market rate of the US dollar with that of the NAFEM rate. So I think we have about the same price now. $1 to naira is about 1,480 thereabouts today as we speak. So if you have US dollar, you have more naira. But what is that worth in the market? What are you saving in? How are you protecting the energy that you put out there every day? Buy Bitcoin is very, very good for you. What's the market cap of Bitcoin today? The market cap of Bitcoin is about 928,453,827,000. Bigger than the South African Stock Exchange. Can birth multiple Nigerian stock exchange and all the platforms and businesses in the giant of Africa. Pay attention, Nigerian government. This is supposed to be a Federal Executive Council conversation. And on that note, I welcome my very special guest. Today I have a top class personality who I'm going to be learning from. Is Dr. Babatunde, the Chief Operating Officer of the FinTech Association of Nigeria. You already know that's a big organization. That's where all the Flutterwave, Paystack, everybody, all the FinTech big heavyweights. That's the umbrella body where progressive things about financial technology in Nigeria happens. We will learn some stuff for him. So let's welcome Dr. Babatunde. You're welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me on the show.
I'm so glad to be here. We'll see you. No go no say you be heavyweight too. You came humbly and you came timely. Thank you so much. A friend told me something, and I also read many times online that valuable people, wealthy people regard time. What is time to you, sir?
Okay, so time is a compass. So when you say time as a compass, it gives direction. So your purpose is aligned with the time, with your time, so you can plan well. But when time is a clock to you, you watch it.
Wow. Did you hear that? So what do you want your time to be? A purpose or a clock? Whatever is purposeful would have value, will be productive, right? That's why they say time is money. All right. A quick background for those people that don't know you. I know you. I see the things you do. great things. So, why FinTech Association of Nigeria? What was the journey before that FinTech Association of Nigeria? Did you just wake up and say, you know what, I'll bring everybody together, or you definitely have been in here for a while and you retired and said, okay, I'll bring everybody together? Please paint a picture for the Gen Zers and the millennials who don't know anything about you, but they would like to learn.
Okay, so interestingly, my first 2 degrees are in agriculture, and so for my first degree,
So you should be in farm.
so for my first degree, I actually did my research on genetics of maize color. So the corn that you eat, it comes in different colors, all the colors of the rainbow, black, what's it called? So I was breeding the colors, that's, so I trained as a geneticist. And for my master's, I decided to start looking at genetic engineering. But this was way back in 1989. I mean, people were not looking at things like that. So I worked on sorghum, in vitro culture of sorghum, which is trying to see if African varieties of sorghum respond to in vitro culture. Prior to that, only in America and Japan that they've done similar culture. So it was a breakthrough study to show that I worked on 2 varieties and one actually responded. Wow. Now, Nigeria today is probably the largest producer of sorghum in the world, or second largest producer of sorghum in the world. But even at that, we have challenges with production. So way back then, which is still the problem, there's a weed called striga that reduces the yield of sorghum and soybeans.
Striga?
Yeah. No, striga seeds are interesting seeds. They are dormant seeds. They can be in the soil for 100 years and they will never grow.
Wow.
But they will grow if a chemical called strigol is released into the soil.
What a lesson.
But sorghum and soybeans, their roots produce strigol. So if you happen to plant them in a soil that already has striga seeds, you've lost all your yield.
Connect this with your FinTech life.
So I'm going there. I'm going there. So I started looking at how can we use genetic engineering to solve the striga problem. So I started doing studies and writing what's it called. Unfortunately, I mean, I come from a bit of a humble background, so I couldn't sponsor myself for my doctorate program. I couldn't, so I got to know that banks were recruiting agric officers for the agricultural finance department, and I found myself in banking. So, so I was in banking for like 20 years, and then I did some consulting, did the project management certification, and then I ended up with a subsidiary of the central bank for like 2 years. And then the FinTech Association was established and they were looking for a COO. And for me, and I looked at the fact that, see, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I want to pay Flutterwave, or I want to pay MasterCard, I want to pay PayPal.
I must have a reason to, I need a value.
Yes,
Yeah,
so they're just platforms, but people pay for food, for shelter,
yes,
for health, for education, for
we
transport.
We pay bills for our own value.
Yes, so the FinTech Association of Nigeria is an inclusive association. So it's not just about payments or what's called, it's about the verticals also, the agri-tech, the insure-tech, the health-tech, the prop-tech, the trans-tech. Awesome. How do we bring all of that together and using technology to drive it? Look, a lot of 50% of our food problems in Africa can be solved using technology. But the challenge is that the people at the end of affairs at times talk a lot about digital. Digital is a cliche, but they actually are analog-minded. So, I mean, like I give you, for example, Nigeria, we have challenges. We have this issue of herdsmen, what's it called? But it's a problem that we can solve with technology.
True.
Set up greenhouses all over the north and use hydroponics to produce pasture. You produce more pasture and the quality will be better than what is growing on the ground.
And grazing can happen over there.
No, you just need drones to drop pasture for the herdsmen wherever they are using GPS.
Woo! Awesome.
And that solves that problem. They don't have to move around. What does that do for them? Their animals gain weight and have better meat value. The cows produce better milk because they're not moving around. So we just need to think digital to be able to solve a whole lot of problem. I mean, you see people, some of our members in prop tech, they're using tokenization to solve housing problems.
Yes, real world tokenization.
So you don't have to have 200 million naira to own a property in Banana. or a 1 billion to own a property, but you can own a part of a property.
Yes.
So
Like
there's
a timeshare.
Yeah, a timeshare. So so they're tokenizing things. There's I can't remember the name now. I think it's Bank. They just look at commercial properties and they tokenize it. And you get part at the end of the year, you get some dividend. So there's a lot we can do using technology, and that's what drove me into. I'm not a techie person. Apart from my agriculture background, I read business administration. So I'm not a tech person, but I'm an administrator. But I learn what everybody is doing and see how we can harmonize all of that and grow the economy, because the economy is important.
Wonderful. This is a very interesting story, because I picked a few things, like wherever you find yourself, see how you can become valuable to your society. You didn't think of what you can get. You thought of what you can add, and it has brought you this far. That is interesting. Now, I have another concern, which is the fast-growing pace of fintech in Nigeria. When I looked at the transaction that was done overall e-payments in 2022 and 2023, 2022 was about 22 trillion, or thereabout, and total transaction was about over a quadrillion, and processed by mostly fintechs. And mostly these fintechs are owned by young people, but the gateway to entry is quite expensive, but still Nigerians have done so much. What is the Fintech Association doing to, upon confirmation of you specifically talking about thinking digital, what's the Fintech Association doing to ensure that young people don't find it even more difficult to step into the space? And now that you also mentioned tokenization, our era, I'm a millennial, so I'm still Gen Z and millennial, and you a baby boomer. So our era are even more digital. I tell people the internet is our age mate, so we shouldn't let the internet think more than us. We should think to add value to the internet and bring value to our clients. We tokenize things. It's the blockchain era. It's the Bitcoin era. How is the FinTech Association creating a platform for expression for these young people that may not have the funding, but they have the technical capacity, or they have the reasoning faculty like you had in your days, and intentionally merging it with today's existing technologies like the blockchain that can tokenize things and make life better for all of us?
Okay, so in 2020, together with EY, we did a census study in Nigeria. And two things that came out strongly was funding and skills. So the funding problem is, there's a huge challenge. So when you look at our fintechs today, even all the Flutterwaves and co, they're actually not Nigerian companies, because the funds they have come from outside. So they're registered in Delaware or in San Francisco. And New York and what have you. So those are challenges. And the challenge is the fact that the typical Nigerian investor does not understand technology.
They rather just buy houses.
Yeah, so they rather buy a house in Banana or buy stocks that they can see rather than intellectual property. So that's where the challenge. So for us, it's capacity building. How do we change that narrative? We're working with NGX. We're also going to be engaging NASD and FMDQ. How do we start creating local fronts? NGX already created one called the Growth Board for fintechs to be able to access, although the entry point is still a little bit, But more importantly is the fact that we've also been able to get, now the central bank as a sandbox. Now the beauty of the sandbox is the fact that if you go through that process, you don't have a license, so you go through that process. By the time you are done with that process, investors are already looking at you. If the central bank has cleared you and you can go live to market, it becomes an opportunity for you to access funds also, and get investors to be interested in you, although there are still challenges with that. So they run what you call a quad system. That means that they pick a theme, and what your design must be aligned with that theme. No, we think that it should be a running system. No matter what ideas I have, I should be able to come on the sandbox. So how do we get private sandboxes to operate or have interoperability with the
Yes.
CBN sandbox,
Yes.
and people can do other things, and you can still monitor. It doesn't have to be on your own sandbox. So when it comes to funding, it's a bit dicey. It's a tricky thing. Foreign funding now is even changing because of the fact that we've had fintechs who have crashed. It seems that $2 million is like a taboo now.
Yeah. The last 18 months have been crazy.
And everybody that collapses raised $2 million.
Yes,
So
yes.
is there something wrong with $2 million?
Is that how you do lower or higher?
So you have that challenge. But you see, I think that the solution is going to be in-house. We have to solve our problems here.
Yes.
We have to get investors to start looking at intellectual property. It's changing slightly. I mean, when people saw what happened with Paystack and Stripe buying Paystack for $200 million after 5 years, yay!
Flutterwave is now a $3 billion company.
So you see some of that happening. So I guess we'll see some changes. But how do we get even our big guys? I mean, how do we get the Dangotes, the Hotel Dollars, and and support the fintech ecosystem? And that's a new level that we want to start looking at. How do we talk to them? Their foundations looking at these young people and what they are doing.
Hold your thoughts there. This is where I would like to bring my next guest in. But before that, how do we bring the real wealthy people in Nigeria to the table? So the wealth don't keep going up because we want the dollar, right? We want FX. The more the largest equity share goes to the foreign companies, the more we lose some level of FX. My next guest is supposed to be Seun. Seun is my guy in the crypto space, Seun Dania. He's the founder. I don't know if he's still running Trade Father, but is a very, very intelligent person. I want to connect the conversation we're having now with Seun. Seun is a blockchain and Web3 innovator. Is empowering the future with unmatched leadership in architecture development and team management. Please welcome Seun to the Digital Asset Show. Seun, are you there, my brother?
Good evening. Yes, I'm here.
I'm doing very, very well. The last time we had our conversation, it was still about this, and I'm glad that you haven't derailed all the Mr. Emefiele's sanctions and whips. Rather put you in the diaspora to be excelling, and it didn't throw you out of the market. Thank you for coming to my show.
Innovators are always need to find a way around things.
That's so, my brother. So what's happening in the diaspora? How's the weather like? Are you guys enjoying the weather, or you are experiencing the inflation we're experiencing here in Nigeria? As a Nigerian in the diaspora now.
Yes, we're experiencing it. Pretty much the major reason why there's a lot of this, and that I personally moved out of Nigeria was, there was a period where the now Prime Minister was, made an announcement that they were making UK, they were planning to make UK a crypto hub, and in the same light, Nigeria Central Bank was banning cryptocurrency exchanges and sanctioning. So it only made sense that we move to a terrain where technology is understood and there are opportunities to actually build and expand your business. So sadly, unfortunately for Nigeria has lost quite a number of talents, because I know there are so many in the UK, established a global talent visa program, for people who have talents in technology and whatnot. So we're here, but of course, definitely looking at Nigeria and hoping to be able to shape the future of Nigeria positively.
So I won't be out of place if I say you jackpot for good.
I just took one. I put one. I'm hedging my bets.
All right, so before I immerse you into the conversation I've been having with Doctor himself, if you can do it real quick, maybe like 20 seconds, so people can have a background of who you are, and establish the credibility that brought you onto the show today real quick, letting us know your experience before now and now what you're actually doing. Do that real quick in like 30 seconds because of our time.
All right. My name is Seun Dania. I'm a technology entrepreneur. Prior to now, I worked as IT admin in Nigeria Delta Exploration and Production. I studied computer engineering out of Lagos State University. Under my belt, I probably have I stopped counting, but the last count, I have over 30 something IT certification ranging from Microsoft, VMware, Cisco, VCE, project management. I mean, the whole world, certified ethical hacking, information security, all that stuff. Yeah, so I mean, I've always wondered what payments would be like in the new millennium. That was while I was in university in the 2000s, and that brought about my interest in technologies like e-gold, which was a fully centralized digital payment solution.
Yes.
Got cancelled, got closed by the U.S. Treasury, and on there we had PayPal. We saw the success around it. Liberty Reserve also came on, e-bullion, web money. Different kinds of innovations came up around, but they were all centralized. So when the Bitcoin white paper came out, it was very interesting. So I followed up and kept abreast of what was going on within that space, and it was important. A group of friends came together and thought that, yeah, this is the opportunity that we've been looking for, a decentralized payment system that will not be shut down by any government or any agency. So yeah, that brought about TradeFadder. We came together, built a digital currency exchange, providing these exchange solutions to Nigeria. And we've been in business since 2017. The CBN love letter dealt a blow to us in terms of providing fiat to crypto services. But what we did was innovate. So we built a spot exchange. We allowed people to trade between cryptocurrencies without us breaking the law. So since the government said we couldn't, we couldn't get financial services, we built a service where crypto enthusiasts are still able to trade between cryptocurrencies without us breaking the law and touching the naira. So yeah, in a nutshell, I'm also a founding member of the Digital Currency Coalition, which is a coalition of all the digital currency exchanges, wallet providers in Nigeria. We constantly engage with the central bank and with all the government agencies, pretty much advocating, for the blockchain technology, digital currencies, and the whole works, to get Nigeria up to speed. And I believe we'll be making significant progress with the new administration. We see that they've, reversed the ban on the digital currencies. And, we're looking, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're looking towards regulation. So yeah, I'm a full crypto advocate, and it's a pleasure to be here. That's me in a nutshell. On the other side, I'm a movie maker, I'm a farmer. I wear quite a number of hats. So, but for the purpose of this show, that's me.
Well, one way, enter market or no con waja. That's what Yoruba people say. So it's very interesting.
They say jack of all trades, master of none.
Oh, we do. But I like the fact that you're focused on the blockchain cryptocurrency space, Bitcoin on top of the food chain. Thank you very much for coming, Seun. So we will go on a quick break, and when we come back, I will immerse you into the conversation. So myself and Dr. Babatunde here will have a stretch-long 25-minute tete-a-tete about how fintech can properly marry with the crypto space. We're going to talk about VASP, Virtual Asset Service Provider license. We're going to talk about the BDC for FX exchange. We're going to talk about funding. We're going to talk about all of these things. So get ready, my brother. Sit back, relax. Everybody, I hope you're still there. Do not go nowhere. We have to make some money. Thank you very much, Pop Central. You're watching us live all over West Africa on DSTV channel 189, the first of its kind on DSTV. No be small. We have started to put the conversation in your faces. And I remain your hosts. I just want to, make some bags. We will be right back. Stick with me. All right, we're back from the break. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Digital Assets Show, watching us all over 17 West African countries on DSTV channel 189. Thank you, Pop Central. No be easy thing. I have heavyweights in the studio with me, Dr. Babatunde, the COO of FinTech Association of Nigeria. Let me read Dr. Babatunde's LinkedIn ID for you. In case you guys don't understand who I have in the studio, you don't want to play with such personality. Chief Operating Officer at FinTech Association of Nigeria. You see things like FNIM, PNP. What does that mean?
So FNIM is Fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management.
Okay.
And PMP is Project Management Professional. That's Project Management Certification.
Yes, you know, those things are very beautiful when you have it behind your name. I have some certifications too, but I haven't had the opportunity to put all these abbreviations behind my name. So when I see it, I feel like, oh, am I doing great at all? So thank you very much and welcome back to the show. And I hope Seun has joined us, right? So good. Seun, have you joined us so I connect with you first? Hello, Seun, are you there? Okay, while we're trying to talk to Seun, I hope you guys can join us on the show. If you want to talk to me directly, you will see the numbers. Please, my producer, put the number on the screen so people can reach out to us. I hope I can take one call. This is very interesting. Let me ask Dr. Babatunde, VASP, Virtual Asset Service Provider License. The guidelines are out. Licenses have not been issued. The fintech side of the financial space panicking that these crypto guys will come and take our business. Because Binance is just about 6 years old. It's one of the biggest fintech companies in the world. I think Binance is worth so much billions of dollars. They even have their own Binance coin and all of that. Fluctuate is it's about 6 years, they're about 2. But it's a pinch of salt to Binance wealth. And I can tell that we've seen cryptocurrency companies in Nigeria that are doing the numbers in crypto that some of our banks are already doing. So when you heard of the VASP, what do you know about that? Don't let me say when you heard of the VASP, but obviously you're highly informed. The VASP, what is it to the Nigerian fintech space? Is it going to be a competing operational system against the traditional fintech, or is it going to be something that will take us to a new era where the fintech, existing traditional fintech, will now start to marry the cryptocurrency business? Or are we going to see banks buying up licenses and buying up fintech companies, or buying up crypto companies? Or is the other way around? Binance will come in here and buy like 4 banks and say, come here, they bring your numbers into the crypto space. Please share your thoughts with me.
Okay, so I think that what we're going to have, already we've been seeing banks creating fintech subsidiaries. They're not buying, they're establishing their own fintech subsidiaries. I think that has to do with the fact that negotiations might be a little bit, banks always want to have majority shares. So if negotiation is such that as a fintech you still want to keep majority, banks will walk away, and they have the money so they can create their own subsidiaries. But I think that what we're going to see is the future of finance is interoperability of cryptos, CBDCs, stablecoins, and fiat.
Facts.
So there has to be that interoperability. That's the future, and any economic movement, and how do you have that? You see, there is a challenge with cryptos. Even you see in America, generally no sovereignty wants to have 2 currencies in its economy.
Okay.
So there's this play: are cryptos currencies or are they assets? Nigeria is defining it as assets, and that's why it was called. And because we were also part of the process in 2019, worked together with Seun to develop the fintech roadmap for the capital market. And one of the things that was discussed and put in that document was VASPs. And that's how the regulation for that. That's how to.
So that means you must have worked alongside Dr. Timagama at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't join them when they were doing that work, but I joined them at the time when it was launched.
So you're always right on time.
So there's that. So we're going to see that interoperability. How do you work together? I mean, the guys working on CNG, and that's the whole concept. How do you have that interoperability where you can move from fiat
to crypto
to stablecoin, and you can move to crypto, and you can move back.
Yeah, on-ramp and off-ramp.
Yeah. So I think that's what I mean. That's the future of finance. I mean, if you were at the Singapore Fintech Festival last year, that was also the same thing that came up. I mean, that's what people saw the future of finance. Even the BIS and all those, IMF, everybody's supposed to go. You can't wash away crypto.
You can't.
I mean, it's huge. It's gone too far. So it's how do you work with it? And I think that's really what's about. I think that's what we're going to see. So I'm not sure that they'll be swallowing up or anything, but everybody will play its space and work together.
Okay, good. Synergy, interoperability. I love that. Seun is having an audio issue. My production crew, that's the message I'm getting from Seun. he's live, but he cannot hear us. Can you fix that for me, please, real quick? Seun, can you hear me now? Okay, he can't hear us. Seun, we're going to work on that, and let's see whether we can bring it back in. So relax. Okay, good. Virtual asset service provider guidelines and the licensing would bring interoperability between the traditional finance, existing finance, and the crypto space. I love that. The ETFs are in town. Biggest companies that own all the companies in the world. I mean, they even just bought one of our own billionaire company, asset management business guru, from the UK, the man that owns the Gatwick Airport. BlackRock just bought his business, and they're even stronger. Definitely, they're even more in Africa now. Grayscale, all of them, in just less than 1 month, they bought the most Bitcoin. That's the best performing assets in the world in the last 10 years. Better than S&P 500, better than, don't better than gold, don't better than, what else? What do you want to say? NASDAQ, don't better than everything. Don't better than the big tech. The big tech. I've invested in everything, and my Bitcoin stake is, without touching it, is doing fantastically well. Even in the deepest of the deep. Why have we not taken Bitcoin seriously in the country? There are only 21 million of it. Why doesn't Nigeria as a government buy Bitcoin? Because I had the opportunity to sit down with an ex-president in this country, sir, and I told him, Your Excellency, when you were there, if you had bought Bitcoin for Nigeria and maybe a few years before you left, and now we would have paid up all of our debt with just Bitcoin. Bitcoin used to be 16 naira 14 years ago. It's $47,000 today. We already know that's about 60-something million naira. What would it be in the next 10 years now that the institutions have come? I think that there is a fear of missing out for every serious investor. What percentage should be allocated? Are these people paying attention at all? What's the Hotel Dollars, the Dangotes, the Tony Ebimenus, the Segun Agbajes, the Herbert Wiggs? These are your men. What are they doing? Is this not supposed to be a Federal Executive Council conversation? I mean, please share with me, sir.
So, I'm not sure, maybe with the exception of El Salvador or Central African Republic that adopted Bitcoin.
Yes.
I'm not sure that how many countries or sovereignties actually trade Bitcoin. But they do have Bitcoin accounts. So take the US, the Department of Justice has a Bitcoin account, the FBI has, the CIA has, the government itself has. So if criminals are caught, they can, retrieve those Bitcoins and they can convert it to fiat as they wish. So for me, I don't think that government should play in the space. It should be
Agencies.
Not agencies. It should be business, private sector, and individuals that should play in this space, and government should tax. So the finance bill has a 10%
capital gains for Bitcoin and
between 2020, July 2022 and June 2030, $60 billion was traded from Nigeria.
Whooping money.
So that's a loss to government.
Yes.
I'm sure that between July 2023
it's going to be $100 billion.
It's going to be $100 billion because a lot more. And the information we have that corruption is driving this business, and the guys who want to keep dollars in the cash, so you have to see what buy bitcoins and stable coins. So you have a lot of volume being driven on that space. So government should, how do I tax this? I think India is doing like 30% or something like that.
That's terrible. I mean, what would happen to India is most of the companies that can add value in the crypto space would opt out, and people would not even do. They may not invest in the crypto companies that are domiciled in India. It's almost tax free in El Salvador. The El Salvador president, like you mentioned, is very forthright, and they're already in profit anyway, and they want to do the volcano mining technology for Bitcoin over there. If you want to run a Bitcoin business, you can go there. It's practically almost free. I'm worried for the FIRS. How will they see Bitcoin to tax? For example, Binance is still existing, Coinbase is existing. It's 30 million naira for the vast license. The banks have started allowing peer-to-peer transaction flow, even though maybe the connectivity from the tech companies haven't maybe been activated. We don't know what's happening. What should rather be done to ensure that it's fair on both sides, on the side of the regulator and of course on the side of the individuals and the business owners in the crypto space?
So I think that so government is probably waiting for SEC to license people, they start operations, you can have KYC and AML issues and you can track what's it called. However, when will that happen? That will be
time flies. The transactions are happening.
And
we are okay.
Usually it takes 6 months to 1 year to get a license. That means that we're still waiting for another 1 year. Time has gone, you've lost money. So there has to be a different approach to it. I mean, how do you work with a convexity who has capacity?
Shout out to Deji and Charles.
And so that with other international where you can track transactions out of Nigeria and then what's it called, collect from that space. But does FRS have a Bitcoin account? I don't know. So the fundamentals even need to be done to make that happen. But how do we speed up the licensing process? I think that was really critical so that we can put things in place and start earning income instead of losing income.
Okay, good. Because of our time, let's run quickly into what I've been thinking in my head. Okay, is Seun on? Can we hear Seun now? Seun, can we hear you now? Can you hear me now?
No.
Oh, not yet. Oh my God. Oh, it's all right. Seun, don't worry. If you can't hear us and you can watch us, I definitely will bring you back on the show. But hopefully you can still do 5 minutes. But this conversation is so sweet. I wish you can jump in. But Mr. Babatunde, Dr. Babatunde is doing fantastically well. Funding. I look at the VASP and I see space for people who want to be infrastructure providers. The VASP has nothing to do with them at all. I see that they don't need no license, right? To me, that's a loophole, but it's okay. I just dropped that right there. If you're smart. So if you want to custody, or you want to run an exchange, you want to ICO, whatever it is, you need that license. Funding. There's going to be a lot of money that will come into the space. Real world tokenized assets. You can hear that the BlackRock CEO has been hammering on this. Real estate will be tokenized. We can even tokenize the Fort Mainland Bridge, and lots of money can come. This is like toll gating, and it's going to be, when I say toll gating, not really toll gating, but that's like that type of revenue, in a digitized way. That's like putting whatever it is into a banana island real estate in cyberspace. That's what I call Bitcoin. When tokenization take effect in Nigeria full time, I see Gary getting tokenized, and then when there is issue in the north, and transportation can't really bring tomatoes here, the price of tomatoes on the blockchain will fall, etc., etc. Everything will be tokenized. Are we ready? Are the fintechs investing in this infrastructure? What's going to happen? Are we prepared for this feature that has already started happening? That's one. Secondly, what would happen to the existing hands that already understand the nitty-gritty of these things, that know the back door, that regulation may not be able to really put their eyes on? Shouldn't there be a town hall, different from Babatunde, that can bring everybody together so that there will not be different choices? There won't be segregation. There won't be just a few people who have access to regulation, which is why this platform is here, platform for expression. Lots of money spent. Shout out to Pop Central to put this in the forefront of the conversation and say, let everybody have a share of the pie. What exactly would be happening? How is the FinTech Association creating a platform? I've asked this before, but I'm re-asking again for the digital asset space funding.
Okay, so let me talk about bringing people into the space first. We understanding that technology is always ahead of regulation.
Fast! Boom! You just said my words.
The only way to bridge it is engagement. So we have what you call the Regulator Forum, which is two words put together, regulators and innovators. It's a platform that meets quarterly.
Okay.
And it brings together all the regulators, CBN, SEC, NDIC, NFIU, NICOM, NCC, NICSDA, into the space and discuss issues that affect the ecosystem. One thing I've learned, is that in emerging technologies, both operators and regulators are startups.
Mm. I'll put it in the left hand.
Everybody's learning. So
Yeah.
nobody knows it all.
Nobody knows it.
There's only a few that knows everything.
Yeah, Nigeria is just an example.
So, I mean, and I think that in terms of tokenization, the government is looking at it. I've already heard from the grapevine that they're looking at tokenizing all federal government assets, and that's looking at $23 trillion naira. So you can imagine how that happens. My only fear is that it should be driven by asset management companies, private sector, not government. Everything government does, they always mess it up.
They always mess it up.
So it's but that's the way to go really, to tokenize everything. I mean, I always tell my friends, I joke with my friends, you know, who build houses in the village. I say what you have is social value, not financial value, because a bank won't take it from you for as collateral because of its location. But if we tokenize it and bring it into a pool listed on an exchange, you know, that can create wealth for even Nigeria, for the country as a whole. So you can
Big
imagine,
time.
I mean, some people, the mansions some people have in their villages don't even have in Lagos. So,
Yeah.
the only difference is the value of land.
And it lies fallow sometimes when they live abroad.
It
It's not being used for
It
nothing.
is fallow. At times we only go there once or twice a year. So it's idle assets, you know, and it's not social value.
Yes.
But how do you tokenize it and put it into a pool? Because it has a value. Put that value into a pool, either it's a REIT or something.
How do you tokenize Burna Boy's concerts and performances and music?
So I think tokenization is really the future. That's where you can get everybody to invest something in what they naturally would not be able to have today. Nobody has one Bitcoin. Most people have
Sats, fractions
of it. So tokenization is the way to go. And if we're going to create wealth and bring liquidity into this ecosystem, is tokenization. Government also has to, and I think that they're looking at that as a blockchain policy of the government. So I think that with the new minister who is a core fintech person,
Yes,
I think we
absolutely.
should see some traction.
Yeah, shout out to the new minister. You know, time is fast spent when we are when we are having the most fun is when this time flies. But I won't let you go without giving your last words. First of all, I want to apologize. The AC keep messing up, so we're both sweating. But I hope you guys have learned some stuff. Very, very important. We also have technical issues, so sorry to the viewers out there hoping to hear from Seun. I will definitely bring Seun back. Seun, I'm very, very sorry. We have technical issues in the studio. She is no say inflation leave, so if you guys say that the inflation they affect the technical equipment. Now, we are planning a lot of stuff, right? You know, Pop Central is the first television house that is putting this on the forefront. I think Channels TV do some tidbits, minutes with our friends over there. So we're planning to begin to bring people to the same table. Crypto, you know, have this conversation. There's an halving that is coming on the 22nd of April, most likely, where Bitcoin block reward will be cut in half. That means the miners now get half of what they're getting now when they solve these mathematical equations and get rewarded with block subsidy, which means that it's going to be scarce here. And Bitcoin in the last 10 years is the best performing assets in the world. And I'm thinking, you mentioned the assets management. Are we not going to be seeing a situation whereby, for example, no assets management company is announcing that they're buying Bitcoin and putting it on their balance sheet now? I know FASB rule has been changed in the US. I don't know about what we have here. You know, people are buying Bitcoin and putting it in their balance sheet, MicroStrategy, you know, and all of that. So when that time comes, hope it's not like they're going to be taking our money and then putting it in the hands of exchanges over there when we can actually custody this thing. Some of us can want to know it. We know what it is, how to connect Bitcoin technologies together. You don't have to go and call those big companies over there. We'll write a codes for you. We'll do it. We move millions of dollars already amongst ourselves here. What would be that your last take as we round up so we can shut down the show positively?
So I think that as the space emerges, banks, asset companies must be looking at custodian rules.
Good.
In the digital asset space. You know, that's the way to go, and I think that's the future. Like I said, it's interoperability. What role are you going to play in there? Even if you're holding fiat, what space in the value chain am I also holding? And I think for banks and asset management companies, the custodial role is really what they should be looking at. And I believe we can. We don't have to go out. I'm one person. See, I'm wearing this because I've stopped wearing suits. I mean, why should I pay the Italians dollars when I can.
$2,000, $3,000.
When make them in Nigeria, when we have things in Nigeria
Yes.
to wear. So at least done by one of the, a Nigerian.
Why should I patronize Binance and Coinbase when we have some Nigerian exchanges?
So let's look at Nigeria. We can grow, and that's why we need to bring some of the big boys to understand the space and invest in the space. We need local investments to be able to drive things and make things happen.
We need local investment to be able to drive things and make things happen. All the money bags, everybody. You heard that from the source, the COO of FinTech Association of Nigeria. Thank you, Dr. Babatunde, for coming. I would love to bring you back over and over again. I've learned so much, and I hope my viewers have learned. Time flies, we have to go now. Shout out to Pop Central, shout out to my producer, shout out to everybody that came here. Storm, Podcast team member, everybody. I love you all. Same time next week when we come back for episode 10, where we'll be here. The Digital Assets Show, Internet Money Podcast. Buy Bitcoin, no dull yourself. Inflation day on top line around. Jao. Oluwasegun says, Odabo.